I am so excited to share this episode with you today. I have prayed over when to actually put this out, how to deliver this to you. I have thought about it for a really long time. And today is the day, my friends. So for you, those of you that don't know me, my name is Christa Baker. I am your host of the Strength for Generations podcast. I'm about to share the most important conversation I've ever had on this podcast. And I need you to understand something right from the start. This is not just another health episode. It's a very important conversation that changed everything for Mike and me. This conversation you're about to hear has been on my YouTube channel, which YouTube is not my jam. Like I don't do very big YouTube productions. I had it there because it was a longer video and it was a lot easier for me to share and actually put it into my program. But I'm so excited to finally have it here on this podcast where this is where it belongs. This message is too important to just live in one space. It's too life-changing to not share everywhere I possibly can. Over a year ago, I sat down with Piotr Slowinski. By the end of that call, Mike and I finally had answers, like real answers. I remember feeling this peace fall all over me and looked at Mike with tears in my eyes. I was losing my life to periods, migraines, perimenopause. My skin was flaring up and burning. My histamine levels were so high, I could barely function. I was getting a migraine every single month. Mike and I had been doing all the right things for years. We've been, eating well. We've been exercising consistently for at least 20 years. Not this on and off, but we were faithful every single year after year. About 4 years ago, Mike was diagnosed with this onset of diabetes. Even the doctor was so surprised, that's not your blood work. Let's get this blood work done again. And from there, he was very committed, keto, carnivore, exercising. The guy would go out for walks after every single meal. And I would be walking with him. I'm like, I don't want to walk so fast. I just want to go for a casual walk, but he needed it for his blood sugar. And these diabetic numbers, they just didn't budge. 3 years of being perfectly disciplined, doing everything the experts told us to do, his body wasn't responding. We were both frustrated, exhausted, and honestly starting to lose hope. But after this conversation, we finally understood why. And for the first time in years, we had peace. We finally understood what was really happening inside of our bodies. And friends, what you're about to learn will shatter everything you think you know about health. Piotr Slowinski is the developer of Glucoferrin and owner of Phoenix Creative Nutraceutical Company. He has a medical degree from Poland, an engineering background in metal and mineral processing, and has been practicing in Scottsdale for over 33 years. And what he discovered will blow your mind. You're not iron deficient. We're iron poisoned. Every single day, with every meal, we're consuming synthetic iron that our bodies can't use. It's literally rusting us from the inside out. Your ferritin levels are telling a story your doctors don't understand. Your normal blood work is hiding the real problem. Your exhaustion, your brain fog, your metabolic issues, even your skin problems all trace back to one thing: iron dysregulation. And the solution isn't another diet or workout plan. It's understanding that your body needs the same 708 sulfur-bonded amino acids that are in mother's milk, the same nutrients that built you in the first place. Piotr is going to explain why your liver is the key to everything, why people with normal A1C levels are actually diabetic, why your red blood cells aren't carrying oxygen the way they should, and how Glucoferrin works like mother's milk to restore your body's ability to function the way God designed. This episode is longer than my usual format, but I promise you it is the most important conversation you'll hear this year, maybe even this decade. And since this recording, everything has changed for us. My skin has calmed down. My histamine reactions have dramatically improved. H. pylori is gone. My hormonal symptoms are finally manageable. I don't have migraines anymore. I don't have to give up 3 days every month of not parenting. I can do leg day on day 2 of my cycle. I have my life back. Mike's numbers are finally moving in the right direction. We've got his ferritin level that was like 870 down to under 400 now. Our energy has transformed. My mental focus is so amazing. Our clarity has returned. Our bodies finally feel like they're working with us instead of against us. And I want that for you too. After you hear this conversation, I need you to go to bakerfamilyfitness.com/glucoferrin. You'll find comprehensive information about everything we discussed today, details about how it works, and resources to help you understand iron dysregulation. From there, you can send me an email, support@bakerfamilyfitness.com, to see if this is the right fit for your family and explore your next steps. And friends, make sure that you're subscribed to this podcast because I have so much more content coming with Piotr. I'm so pumped. It's going to be so good. You're going to love it. If you're struggling with hormone issues, menopause, painful periods, hemochromatosis, anemia, hair loss, fatigue, brain fog, diabetes, or any of the metabolic issues we talked about today, you're going to want to hear what's coming next. We've been working with Piotr to create additional resources and content that dive even deeper into how glucoferrin can help with all of these conditions. So hit that subscribe button and make sure you don't miss a thing. Don't just listen and move on. This is too important for your health and too important for your family. Too important for the generations coming after you, because what you're about to learn isn't just information. It's the key to unlocking the health that you've been praying for, the energy you need to lead your family well, and the strength to live out your calling with confidence. Okay, my friends, let's dive in. Welcome to Strength for Generations, the go-to podcast for Christian families who want to build strength, restore energy, and deepen connection with God at the center. I'm Christa Baker, Christian health coach, wife, mom, and co-founder of Baker Family Fitness. I'm here to help you honor God with your health and bring peace back to the process, to simplify what it means to build strength in your body, renew your mind, and care for your spirit, all without losing precious time with your family. So grab your coffee and your ribeye, and let's do this His way. No. Okay, my friends, we are in for a surprise today. I mean, I'm not going to do any justice trying to introduce you, so I'm going to get you to just take over, introduce yourself, and tell everybody who you are and what you do.
All right, so my name is Piotr Slowinski. I am the owner and principal of Phoenix Creative Nutraceutical Company which was started around 4 years ago, but this company was working on the project to develop formula called Glucoferrin. It's a brand name formula. And this project actually is going all the way over 20 years, 2 decades. Wow. The company for a few years because I was finally getting close to the fruition. And then, of course, you know what happened in 2019. Right. We all got sidetracked for a couple of years.
Yeah.
So been working on it for over 2 decades. I developed the formula. I am the designer. I am the developer. I am the product expert. Just about every position, it's me. That's the reason I'm involved right now with few professionals helping me to teach them and to share the knowledge of mine. But the whole product was designed in a premise of so many years. I've been looking and meeting people all around the world for a solution to metabolic disorders. And fortunately, my background, just give you, I have a medical degree back from Poland. Now, people do call me sometimes doctor. I am not MD, so people just have this habit, if somebody helps them, to call you a doc, But I'm not medical doctor. I'm a medical professional. I do have a degree from Poland. But also, besides this, I have a technical engineering degree in metal and mineral processing. And that was I would say, slam dunk, combining the both fields of knowledge that I actually was able to come up with the concept of glucoferrin. And with my chemistry and metal processing, anatomy, physiology background, I was able actually to figure out how the human metabolism works and the entire biochemistry. And I believe I'm right now the closest anybody be to the epicenter of all our, let's say, problems or wellness possibilities for human body. I practice here in Scottsdale for 33 years, exactly this month. So I've been very long in practice. I own a clinic, which I specialize in medical applications of therapies and also nutritional counseling for 33 years, very successfully. I have clients who come to me for over 30 years, okay? And the healthiest I can get. And during that time, I was looking for the answer what everybody always have it. Okay, why we have diabetes, why we have insulin, why we have this, why we have that. Having a medical background, I study very extensively physiology and the chronology in 2 languages, okay? Polish in English and pretty good, become my hobby. So that helps a lot. And the answer was, what is the culprit of problem comes? Well, for many years, everybody talk about this, about the sugar, about, processed food, which everything is right on the money, definitely. But I want to know where this coming from. Well, going to the basics of biochemistry, human biochemistry, and also metabolism is we all exist on one premise, okay, which is the premise of red blood cells and hemoglobin and bone marrow. And if this doesn't work, nothing works.
Mm.
And if somebody tells you otherwise, I'll tell them right now, they're wrong. So red blood cells, hemoglobin. So what do we do with this? What they do? Well, everybody says, okay, diabetes is the word of the day today, insulin resistance, word of the day. But in many, many years, I was exposed to very smart people outside, all over around the world, who really get my attention, and they poke me all the time with the word iron, hemoglobin, iron. That's the only thing I'm like, okay, if anybody tells me that, there has to be something in it. So I start to pay attention, research more. And one day I just came up with idea, start to understand, and by studying extensively, believe me, it didn't happen overnight. I woke up and it's like, oh my God, I have a recipe for something. It was years of trials and errors and looking for things and asking people to find what iron plays the role. Well, iron, it's hemoglobin. Iron is red blood cells. Iron delivers everything. 80% of our blood, it's hemoglobin, red blood cells. 20% is only white cells, which are fed by red cells. And then there is not one singular event in the body. And I try to teach this to a lot of professionals. Don't ever look on human metabolism as a singular event. If you're going to look on the singular event, which means you're looking on symptomatic therapy. We know from my practice for 30 plus years, medically, and my practice, symptomatic application never work and never will. And if somebody have a different opinion, that's fine. That's opinion. It's allowed to have it. So singular event, it
That
means
down, could
yes.
you
Go
break
ahead.
that down, what that really means?
So I'm going exactly.
Okay.
So there is a process in the body. Okay, it starts with first when let me tell you this way. Let's start with the baby. Okay, because we at some point we've been babies. Yes, we've been born. We've been fit.
Long
So
time.
well, a long time ago. Yes, you're right. You're very correct. So the whole point is, when we develop a mother womb, we pick up genes, and genes are replication. When we leave the womb, we are our own, and we need to still continue this gene replication. And everything is a message. These are just messages. So the message needs to be uninterrupted. Okay, this is what this very important part is, and I state this with some write-ups to you. We are changing when we're born from innate immune system to adaptive immune system. That first 48 hours is crucial. Okay, when this happens, the very first thing that happens in our body, we need to start to produce by ourselves red blood cells and hemoglobin. The hemoglobin when we have as a fetus is not the same. It's called fetal. It's come from fetus. We immediately, the moment we leave the womb, we're changing it. There's no applicable anymore. We own our own. And this 48 hours is crucial because you have to have a source and code, genetic code, how to make those cells. And that's where the problem happens. Then we have a 3 to 6, 9 months, up to 3 years of age, when we develop full adoptive system. And that's what most of the kids, they have a problem eventually because this is the 3 years when we get really severely disrupted. Now, what happened is, my idea was, what does it make? Well, the first thing is what the baby gets. Mother's milk. Well, it must be genetic code, yes? It must be the recipe. Well, then I look in the recipe. Well, let's see what we can do with mother's milk. Well, then I start to learn on very smart people, smarter probably than me, that there is a secret in it and there are certain minerals. And the key is a formulation called lactoferrin, which is the essence of colostrum. Colostrum is very popular, but colostrum is only a food grade. It cannot be therapeutic. It might give you some benefits. And I'm not bad mouthing colostrum. Colostrum is very important.
And it's also not very easy to get your hands on in some countries.
Well, it's very difficult. Even for me to make what I make, it's very, very limited, narrow space for again. So the whole idea was to get the essence of colostrum, which is called lactoferrin. Lactoferrin is called miracle protein. And this is where I'm going to use the words which I told you today when I text you about. Lactoferrin, they call this a iron binding glycoprotein. You see, I just said glyco, sugar, iron binding glycoprotein.
Okay.
And it has to be exactly what the mother makes us from. Well, it has to be 708 amino acids. None one less. Even one less, it causes dysfunction of genetic replication. That's why it's important to get a source of 708 amino acids. Now, the second part is those amino acids are sulfur bonded. We talked about that today before. Sulfur is the key. Without sulfur in human body and any mammal, we cannot start genetically replicate protein and finish every single sequence. We cannot. Sulfur is basically a glue, starts the thread of protein. Okay, there is two amino acids which started. One of them is cysteine. Okay, it's involved in everything. The sulfur converts slowly in nitrogen, which is nitric oxide. It picks up the chain reaction. And that's when you have what they call the sulfur bonded or the disulfur bonded elements, which creates proteins. Now, last night I checked for somebody who's probably going to watch this video. I said, there is 100,000 proteins in human body. 100,000. I received yesterday patent and I wrote under the patent. You see, there is trillions of red blood cells. Red blood cells, one, have 270 millions of hemoglobin cells. I mean, molecules, hemoglobin molecules, okay? So then you see the number. Then each molecule has 8 amino acids. I'll let you do the math.
The calculator here. What were those numbers again?
Oh, actually, calculator will not calculate you. You have to go actually to AI or something to get the right number. And they give you the, trust me, I know the formula. I will give you formula. It was like, okay, that's for mathematicians, okay? Not
Okay.
for, so the multiplication has to be in uninterrupted 708 sulfur bond. Now, just hemoglobin molecule has 574 amino acids. Think about it. One molecule. Okay? So basically, you have to have those, and I wrote on this under the patent, we exchange as humans in general, every 120 days, there's a process of degradation and replication of red cells. It doesn't happen like every 120 days. It's a gradual process. If you look on my Instagram, you can see some red blood cells are smaller, some bigger, some very large. So the big one are discarded, the new one take a place. So we go into 120 days life cycle, supporting life cycle.
Right.
The day we born to the day we expire. So let's put this way. That's a lot of red blood cells, you know.
So like are they like rebuilding is that what you mean? Like
They have to be structured from scratch.
every 120 days. So what happens with the old ones?
They're discarded. They're getting dissolved and they to spleen. Ideally, spleen is the discard mechanism.
Okay.
Spleen discards the red blood cells. And some of them, just not to make it complicated, the heme iron, the good iron, actually, if it's not used, our body have incredible ability to actually salvage that iron, put back into liver, and recycle for later if we don't have enough.
Okay.
That's how beautiful it is. Okay.
Wow.
So every 120 days, we need to replace them. Now, what red blood cells do? They feed us. That's the ultimate and only mechanism we have. And I sent you some write-ups about it before. This is the only feeding system in the body. There is no other feeding system. If this feeding system fail, it's going to affect your hearing. Right now, listening to me, you're going to affect your vision. You're going to affect your last molecular particle of your hair, of your nail, because each one of them has to be fed. And lack of feeding causes one and only thing called Inflammation. Well, tell me now what inflammation is not involved with. Everything.
Everything.
Exactly. The reason is basically those cells are screaming for food and they're not getting fed because they're not replicated properly. And
Mhm.
the reason is the first thing, it's one of the two reasons. First, we don't have those sulfur bonded amino acids to create the molecules. And let me go a little bit deeper just for a second. When you create molecule of hemoglobin, you will have 4 atoms of heme iron. Again, there is a heme and non-heme, which is we're going to go in a moment. A heme iron, which is perfectly designed. That's why we call this simply a heme iron, hemoglobin. And it's combined, which is called binding process. That's what they
Yeah.
call this binding, iron binding protein. It will bind those 4 atoms with 4 atoms of already formed globin protein. And for the chain reaction to bind, you need exactly 8 amino acids. Now think about if you need 8 amino acids to combine in 270 million cells, molecules, to support 3 trillions to 300 trillions multiplication. That's why every human body is severely protein deficient. Okay?
My
And now,
clients are going to be like, I already get enough protein. You already
no,
told me to eat. I know. It's just, it's
we're going first. We're going to go, okay, are you eating sulfur bonded protein?
right.
No. Do you eat 708 amino acids? I
Well,
don't want
they
I
only
don't want to
talk about
I don't want
20.
to make a chicken look bad, but chicken has only 7 proteins. That's around 21 to 28 amino acids. So you're
Right.
short like 680 plus a day. A day.
Right.
Now, you see the magnitude of formation of that is so huge, and that's what they call these metabolic disorders because metabolism is involved. This process, which I described, you name it, and it's involved from your liver to every single organ, civil system. Everything is involved, including neurotransmission. Neurotransmission use transmitters like transferrin, which is an amino acid, 600 plus amino acids, which carry iron from ferritin storage, another protein, which is another 600 around amino acids, to the bone marrow, which is also fat tissue and amino acids, to create by binding. There is another protein called TIBC, what they test this for, total iron binding capacity. So you need another binding protein to actually make it happen. Now, this is just to create delivery system. Now, what about beyond delivery? To repair everything else. And now, hemoglobin, what is the main reason of we have hemoglobin? Oxygen and glycogen, nitrogen, and then everything in a line. Whatever we need to get, it follows. But those two, if you depleted 7 minutes out of oxygen, your brain is dead. If you depleted 5 minutes out of glycogen, your breath is dead. And if you depleted 15 to 17 seconds without nitric oxide, you're dead. And nitric oxide, by the way, it's a nitroglycerin in synthetic form. And nitric oxide is stored when the amino acids get used up, it gets stored in endothelium. And that's why endothelium, the lining of the blood cells, okay, of the blood vessels, I'm sorry, not cells, it's considered right now the largest organ of the body, not skin anymore. If somebody tells you skin is the largest organ, no, that changed decade ago.
Your blood cells are?
Excuse me, no.
What was it?
Endothelium. Endothelium,
Okay.
the lining of the blood vessels.
Okay.
That's where we store nitric oxide. And that's why they consider this as an organ, because it processes and stores nitric oxide. So endothelium are those little tiny cells, square-like or octagonal or different shapes, which they line. And when they start to warp, that's where the atherosclerosis happens. That's where the calcium deposits start to build up. So in order to make them nice and smooth, you need to have amino acids delivering nitric oxide to make them nice and playable. You see, this is just another aspect. So this is part of delivery. Now, delivery, the first thing, it goes to liver. Liver is the organ, which is people say liver is a filter.
Right.
This way, right now, I know around 5,000 liver functions, that I believe it's another 50 or 100,000 next 10 years. and liver treat as a filter. It's like, well, that's like the last thing liver is. It's the filter. It's the factory. It's a manufacturing factory. It will receive those amino acids from your mother, those 708, already with the transcript from DNA to mRNA to form your own proteins. Mrs. Christa protein, Mr. Peter protein. Liver gonna formate them and is gonna let them go in the bloodstream, go and build, go
Like it'll go to where it needs to go.
where it needs to be. And that's another thing, it's a very important thing we said. People say, well, I like to lose weight. I said, what if your body doesn't like you lose weight because there is something more damaged? But I like to lose weight. Well, your body will not care. Your body will go and find where is the problem and will start to fix it. Sometimes it's the weight, sometimes it's the muscle. Now, what is the main side effect? The side effect of deficiency of amino acids. It's called sarcopenia,
Wow.
muscle loss. If you don't have a 708 amino acids, they make you hemoglobin.
He's going to be super jacked on this.
Well, everybody is super jacked because believe me, if you start to take it, you're going to see the results in muscular
That's something that
like you never seen. And now let me just finish about the delivery system. You see, when hemoglobin gets to the point, to the muscle, which we store a lot of glycogen, okay, and iron, it's converted in myoglobin. It's not hemoglobin, it's myoglobin. It's a form which gonna feed that muscle. And guess what? The same muscle, it's a little bit maybe different type of cells or fiber, but muscle is a muscle. It's gonna be your quad, you're gonna be your bicep, pec, or your heart muscle, my dear.
right.
So if you're gonna have a sarcopenia, which you're losing muscles, you're losing your heart muscle. Your heart muscle is gonna work overtime, and guess what? It's gonna get hungry. It's gonna get inflamed, and then you have a problem. So now, going back where I start, the feeding mechanism, it's hemoglobin. What it supports, it's glucoferrin because it has 700. No protein in the world has just that particular protein, but it has to be also different type of protein. That's why a lot of people use lactoferrin and they have no results. The difference is humans, we need apolactoferrin. That's what makes us different from other mammals. Apolactoferrin means by all the standards of the technology and also medical standards or USDA standard, it means 96% iron depleted. In order to be feeding and therapeutic, you have to take the iron out. And that's what apolactoferrin stands for. And glucoferrin is the only formula who actually have a structural combination of those sulfur-bonded amino acids combined with iron-depleted protein to create what we call glucose tolerance factor, which is the most complex and most desirable and necessary combination of amino acids and certain minerals, iron depleted, to create the binding capacity to create iron metabolism. At the same time, you have two types of iron. Heme iron, which creates hemoglobin, and non-heme iron. And non-heme iron comes from vegetables. It comes to the processed food, which we eat every day abundantly, and it's in synthetic form, which means it's no good, period. Okay?
All vegetables.
Vegetables have maximum 15% of absorption of iron. A heme iron from animal source or mother's milk or glucoferrin has 45%. Now think about this way. Somebody say, oh, 15 or 45. What if I tell you that daily you're going to lose 30% of your oxygen and glycogen? What would you say? You would say, that's a not good idea, Peter. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, can you utilize this iron? Yes, you can. And even I have people who don't eat a lot of source of protein. That's what glucoferrin comes in hand. that will make the difference whether you get that enough protein or you don't get that enough protein. Now, you have to also consider when people start to eat better, they think they go a lot of protein. They don't understand. It is the process of the food in the stomach, which means you will never absorb therapeutic dose to make even any reversible component of metabolic disorder. It will make you feel better maybe, but will not correct. Okay. And that's the one thing. Secondarily, people have non-heme iron. The glucoferrin actually, even if don't change the eating habits, it will help you actually to absorb because it has this ability. It's called iron sequester. A sequester is a type of protein which is only in mother's milk, which will go and divide iron, non-heme iron and heme iron, ferric iron, and ferrous iron to make it more absorbable. And the part which is non-absorbable, which is referred to free-floating iron, a free-floating iron is the one which causes iron overload in the body. Hemochromatosis and ferroptosis, it will remove out of the body by sequestering. And then the third part is, so you have an iron binding, you have a sequestering, and the final is those amino acids, they're going to use 3 amino acids to create by our liver, our compound called glutathione.
Yeah.
And glutathione, it will remove, glutathione is ultimate antioxidant and chelator. But it has to be made by your liver. You just cannot take it out of the capsules.
Yeah, like, so if you're just taking a bunch of glutathione and you're getting these, like, but your body's not doing any.
You just target singular event. You're just treating
Right.
symptoms. Eventually, you will have a problem with it.
Right, because your body's not actually doing it naturally on its own, and it's
Yeah.
just
Okay. Yeah. If you have a 10 steps, I always explain this way. We have 10 steps, okay? And let's say step number 7 is production of glutathione from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? Then you have a function of glutathione, okay? So it starts with one step. There is no singular event. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. When you give glutathione, you go to number 7. What would the previous 6?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really starting to understand the liver a lot more, especially going through some of the things that I've been.
And I will be very happy to take you to the journey of liver.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fascinated by it. I'm definitely learning a lot about the liver function and then, the connection to all of the other things that are happening in the system. Um, so
Peter did mention something a second ago that I think it might be a good time
yeah,
to, if we could just revisit it, is hemochromatosis
Yes.
and iron overload. I do have a number of people that I know and in my family that suffer from hemochromatosis. So I think you touched on it briefly, the iron fortification in some food.
All of it.
Could you,
All processed food.
you all processed food. Can you explain that a little bit for everybody and also just highlight how your product could help
Yes.
hemochromatosis, again, all the amino acids?
Yes. And a very important pointers, okay? We cannot tell it by percentage, but hemochromatosis or iron overload is basically downfall of humanity, okay? And let me tell you how it works. Iron overload is the first stage, which is very difficult to recognize. And that's where I developed skill for so many years. I teach a lot of healthcare professionals how to recognize iron overload. We actually say and call this iron dysregulation. Okay. And I send you a write up and to Christa and you about
Yep.
anemia. When they say, oh, iron deficiency anemia, there's no such a thing. If you go to every medical vocabulary, they tell you anemia, it's problem with dysregulation of iron utilization. Does not even mention that there's low iron. Never have, never will. You can go to any AI product, anything, will tell you the same thing. Deficiency was just assume that you have a low, that you're deficient. No. Everybody basically is overload. Let me tell you how it works. We eat foods. Doesn't matter now. We're not going to even look what type of iron. Okay. We eat breakfast. Doesn't matter what you eat. Whether it's iron, synthetic, natural, non-heme, on-heme. You eat iron. You eat lunch. You eat iron. You eat dinner. You eat iron. You drink drinks or protein shakes. You eat iron. So basically saying that you're iron deficient is like you jump in the pool, but you're still dry. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
It has no logic. It has no merit. Okay? So everybody basically is iron overload. Now, how you have to look at this? And today I have a very smart doctor, Christa. She asked me about it. She's very brilliant. You've seen her video and she understands this very well. I mentioned about this to many people that when you have iron study done, you cannot only look on one thing. I have to point one thing before we go any further. Hemochromatosis, first as a medical condition, was named and recognized in 2009 by Cleveland Clinic. They do wonderful research, okay? And they the one who said there is a condition called hemochromatosis. They call this hemochromatosis bronze diabetes type 2. The reason why they call bronze, because hem is blood, okay? Chroma in Greek, color, which means your color of your blood is not going to be red. It's going to be basically looking like a brown sludge. And eventually, when you get really bad, your skin will start to look bronze, like you have a great suntan, but it's not suntan, it's iron deposits in your skin. And that's what they said. We have to look on hemochromatosis, that A1C, the test, is not that accurate because they realize, and I see this all the time, that people have A1C normal levels, okay? But when you look on ferritin by itself, ferritin is the storage, which you're probably familiar because they measure your ferritin, okay? That's the first thing they measure is ferritin level. If your ferritin is high, that indicates, and there is no standards where they're going to tell you, they can call this insulin resistance, okay? They can call this hyperinsulinemia. They can call this prediabetes, diabetes. I mean, you make your pick, okay? Wherever you want to feel comfortable, have it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
it's all the same. All the same, okay? So ferritin becomes right now a culprit of looking that you can have a diabetes start or already extensive and your A1C normal. And I just have a yesterday, 2 clients. One has ferritin 999. You know,
That's high.
that's 4 times.
Yeah.
And his A1C was 5. See?
So what did they say he had?
Diabetes, but they actually said in the clinic he went that you have a diabetes with A1C normal. And you're going to see this even in the medical field, they start to realize that you can have a A1C normal and ferritin so high. But then ferritin, now they also very clever people, and I start to follow them many years ago. They said, well, first thing we thought ferritin high is the problem. But now they say, no, we see ferritin low, but then we see transferrin high, the transfer mechanism, the protein, and then it's go low, but you TIBC, I'm sorry, I have to turn it off. And TIBC, which is the binding factor where I just explained you when the cells is made.
Yeah,
it's a
total iron binding.
XPR high.
Yep.
Okay. So you have I'll give you the example. 2 days, I have 2 people, like almost just about identical. It was almost probably meant to be to have them because I just showed this to a lot of professionals. Just take a look. So the ferritin, when one person was low, it was 17. See, think about somebody have a ferritin 1,000 and somebody have a 17. Now, would you call this dysregulation? You would not say this is deficiency. You see what I'm saying? It was a total dysregulation, but the transferrin was below. Transferrin is usually 250 to 275, 300. But transferrin was hardly 200, which means the transfer mechanism was not working. 2 reasons. Too much non-heme iron and not enough amino acids from glucoferrin type, 708 sulfur bonded. The body has deficiency in that protein to create transferrin to take it. The TIBC is the binding, so the body have enough protein, so it's pushing higher. It's a self-defense mechanism, okay? So this is with the low ferritin. Now, when the ferritin goes that low, then the body has no other option. It goes on the surviving mode, all right? From surviving mode, it's going to say, take non-heme iron. We need it. So now you start to load the non-heme iron in the ferritin, and your ferritin start to go up. Well, eventually you become, whether you have heme iron or non-heme iron, your ferritin is going to go skyrocketing, and you have whether with one or the other, you have a hemochromatosis, diabetes, bronze type 2, period.
Mm.
Now, just give you example how it's also relate to it, to heme iron. Heme iron, it's preferable, but a lot of people who exercise, and I see this all the time, I work with them, they start to exercise and they turn to carnivorous diet. And all of a sudden, within 6 months, they all have a hemochromatosis. And they come to me like, just a second, what the hell? I just switched to carnivorous. I reduce my non-heme and I'm overloaded because there is no space in your body anymore. Your organs are so loaded, it will not even take heme iron. So you start to develop hemochromatosis even with the heme iron because you depleted of those iron-binding proteins and minerals to deal with non-heme and heme iron at the same time. And what happened then when you go to glucoferrin start to actually work on regulating to use more heme iron properly and start to sequester and chelate with glucoferrin to remove the excessive iron, which is the free floating, that cause iron overload, and try to make the space. That's usually 120 days when it happen. You see on the blood work and you're going to say, wow, it worked.
So where does it go?
Out of the system.
It's just like whatever pathway. So like sweat, that type of thing. Any detoxification basically pathway. That's really
Glutathione is the detoxifier.
So it's kind of like breaking it down
And removes it.
and then helps to remove it.
Three functions. So very three functions. I told you, and I remember. There's three functions. The glucose tolerance factor is the factor of life, okay? But it has to have three functions. Iron binding, remember this. Sequestering, and then chelate.
Right. Okay.
You have chelation treatments right now. Chelation treatments are very good and they've been done for many years, but they're not sequesters and they're not binders. So they can remove your blood, like going for phlebotomy, blood.
I was just about to ask about phlebotomy.
You take it out. You're not removing from organs. It stay there. That's why you have to do this periodically every 30 days. Because in your organs, it still persists. You only take from the bloodstream, yes, and it's a life-saving experience because if you don't, iron, again, is not mineral, it's a heavy metal, right, and will cause you toxicity. And why the iron is more dangerous than any heavy metal is, for instance, aluminum, lead, or mercury, they're bad for us. But they get there and they interfere with our metabolism, okay? Iron is involved in every single metabolism of red blood cells formation, and then it's passed to every single trillions of cells to every organ in your body. So iron is the problem. Now, if you have an iron problem, then you have a problem because you have not enough amino acids. You're going to have a problem with glutathione, and then you're going to have a problem with lead, mercury, aluminum. Yes, they will accumulate. So if you look on my Instagram, I even put in order one reel, which talks about iron binding, chelation, and sequestering, and that involves all the metals. And I put in that order, and I'm not saying somebody will say, why this order? I said, well, from my experience, I think that's the right order. If somebody have a different opinion, well, that's beautiful. I will not challenge anybody. But iron is the first problem. Second, actually, the heaviest poisoning comes from lead poisoning, believe it or not. And the third one is mercury, and the following is the aluminum.
We're intaking that in just so many different ways that we don't even realize it.
But you have to remember, you're going to take lead time to time here and there. You're going to take mercury here and there, okay? You're going to take aluminum here and there. You eat iron every day and you reproduce red blood cells. So it's going to be ongoing process. Every fracture of the second, iron will heal you or iron will kill you.
Iron is in vegetables. Iron is in fortified food.
Now, let me tell you one thing. In 1963, and you go to my Instagram, on my threads, if people are not aware of it, 1963, there was a deal signed by World Health Organization called Codex Alimentarius. That was the official deal signed with all the developed countries and for non-developed countries to start to iron fortification worldwide in every food with non-heme synthetic iron in the name of preventing people from iron deficiency.
Yeah, like I see it in like I remember my girlfriend was making a bottle for her daughter and it was this iron fortified water. And I like that's just
Actually,
adding to like the
actually, when you take a magnet over the baby formula and you go
yeah,
with the magnet like this, you
yeah.
have you have an iron. It's around 25 to 50 more times than the baby can handle. Baby can handle 0.03 to 0.05 of iron, and average baby formula has 10 to 25. And it's a non-heme and a synthetic, which cannot be used.
So then it's just changing their makeup.
I just told you, they just destroyed their adaptive system.
So then so I mean historically been told that I have low iron and then a lot
And never, yeah, you have. If you send me your blood work, I show you.
Okay, I actually have it right. I have it up. I want to ask you something. So my RBCs, it says low. My MCH is high. My RDW,
How
low.
about your MCV?
MCV is 97.
That's very high. You see, I'm glad to ask you. MCV stands for mean corpuscular volume. This is how your hemoglobin is produced, the volume of it, and capacity of carrying oxygen and glycogen. You're in Canada, so your tests are a little bit different. So what the range shows on the
It
normal
says
range?
80 to 100, and I'm 97.
So you have the same like in United States, okay? So
Okay.
you only have 3 points left from being maxed out with iron, and your hemoglobin is not working right.
And my hemoglobin is 135. And it said like my RDW has always been low.
Okay, but let's stick with the MCV. MCV
Okay.
is very important, okay? MCV, it's two types of anemia. Again, these are anemias, has nothing to do with iron deficiency. The one you develop, it's called macrotic, okay? Microcytic, which is all macrocytic anemia, which means your cells are getting very, very large, and that anemia is called microcytic anemia with iron overload.
Hmm.
Go on the internet, put this name, it's going to tell you exactly what I just told you.
Yeah, and like my ferritin last time I
Yeah,
checked was 66. So and now it's
it's too low.
78.
It's too low
Yeah, so then why does that go low and the other go high?
because you're lacking glucoferrin, the mother milk.
Well, I started it today, so I'm going to be not lacking it.
I'm so happy for you. That's dysregulation. You are dysregulated.
Always been like that, and I've heard it
Hey,
explained.
let me tell you something about always, okay?
Yeah.
Before people start to go for bloodletting, they use leeches.
Right. Yeah,
Do you know why they use leeches?
but because it would like suck.
Well,
No,
Yeah.
that takes you iron out.
Yeah,
No other reason. Do you know who started? How far we know? Egyptians.
I was going to say some hippie, and no, I'm just kidding.
No, Egyptians.
Yeah,
Bloodletting was done for thousands of years
yeah,
because they know it takes the metal out of the body which kills us, which is the iron. So now we turn to phlebotomy, bloodletting.
yeah.
Now we have a glucoferrin.
So not fixing your iron, where does that take us?
Oh boy. To ferroptosis. Ferroptosis in 2012, if you check, was officially recognized as a medical terminology in United States. This
Hmm.
is fact. When I tell you something, it's a fact. It's not opinion. Okay. In 2012, they called this ferroptosis. They come to conclusion. It's called accelerated cellular death induced by iron overload, which means ferro, it's come from ferrin, iron, optosis. Optosis is the technical name of natural cellular death in human, natural, which will happen due to your genetic predisposition, some environmental, but it's not accelerated. Ferroptosis, it's basically oxidation of iron around the cells causing basically rusting of your cells, suffocate them without oxygen and glycogen, so they die prematurely. If you go to my Instagram or Facebook, there is a link from UCLA, okay, from 2012. They said the main reason of Alzheimer is ferroptosis, iron overload.
So then that's so
Now, if this
you've got to be damaging like metabolic. You've got to have metabolic dysfunction and
everybody has it.
somewhere along the way in order to get to the
Well, then if you go to MS,
right,
Huntington disease, Parkinson's, you can actually go and see brain scans, and they shows you exactly iron deposits in the brain.
My mom has Parkinson's.
Well, there is a different parts of brains, okay, and one of them, it's where the dopamine is produced.
Right.
So corroded that first thing. Now, again, if you go to Instagram, there is a picture. It shows you how it works. So if you go to the center of the brain when dopamine is produced, it will shows you that you have an iron deficiency, and I will not argue with that. But then you go a little further outside, with the food, glycogen and oxygen comes to, you have a barrier made from iron rust, which means you have a ferroptosis. So in the inside, yes, you're going to have a deficiency because the outside you have an overload and it sealed the cells and is dying.
Okay. I'm just looking at, so I know I wrote down a bunch of questions.
I had a quick question there about, we've been discussing a metabolic disorder to some extent. It just caused me to think about people with celiac and those sorts of disorders. Is that in any way associated to iron overload as well, or no?
Well, let's put this way. Yes. And I tell you, I always use analogy because when I use analogy, that's what I'm known for. People remember. If I give you a most beautiful car and it runs on super race fuel, but I'm going to give you vegetable oil. And I said, Mike, run it. It's all yours. You're going to say, Peter, are you kidding me? Maybe I drive 10 miles and then what? See, the quality of the fuel is not the liver. The fuel is the red blood cells, oxygen. That's what they refer. The main complication of hemochromatosis and ferroptosis eventually, it's called oxidative stress.
Yeah.
Yep.
That means you're going to oxidize iron, and it's going to oxidize iron is rust.
Basically like rusting on all of your organs.
Well, if you open any body, you will actually see the rust, believe it or not.
And so it's causing the organs to then not be able to.
But as they do the phlebotomy, because they know if you have somebody who have a hemochromatosis and they have to have, let's say, ferritin 1000, okay? This person will die from liver failure eventually. Iron is a heavy metal. It's toxic. It will destroy your organ. And the first one to go, it's liver. If you start to have iron overload, it's liver. The reason is liver regulates everything. Liver release a hormone called hepcidin. And that hepcidin goes to your stomach, and actually, without going any deeper than that, it regulates absorption of your iron. Okay? So right there, liver regulates. So if liver is going to have a problem, well, you're going to have a problem with absorption of iron to begin with, right there. Okay? Then liver gets overloaded. Now, when people have liver overloaded, what do they first notice? And they have a liver issue. The color of the urine becomes brown. Why? They're peeing iron. Urinating iron. Do you ever see? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm thinking of a guy I work with who's known for that.
Yeah, and it smells horribly. Now, if you go find an old well, which people will tell you in the villages which well to drink water, which not, and they tell you, if you go to this well where a brown stinking water, don't drink it, it's so much iron, it will kill you.
Yeah, and so here we are doing it to ourselves every day.
Well, nobody told us about it.
Right. Is it so taking glucoferrin? So the mechanism basically is you take the supplement, and it's going to start to repair where it needs to repair. It's almost like it creates a priority on the thing that is like broken.
That's very important word. It will create priority.
Right.
Priority is gonna go to first thing too. It's your liver function, okay, to form those proteins, then regulates your insulin.
Which is like I am having such liver issues, and Mike is having the insulin.
Remember, when you have a liver issues, which means you have two things: iron overload and you're insulin resistant. Period.
Even
Because
though the test doesn't say so.
no, tests are again. Insulin should not be higher than 3 to 5. Test range is up to 23. So I give you example. A person who comes to me, this one I just told you, 1,000 ferritin, insulin should be 3 to 5. His blood work says it's up to 23, and his insulin was 34.
Holy smokes, he's not well.
And his doctor told him, you have diabetes, I just cannot put it together. He said, for professional said, go and see this one guy.
Yeah. So is this something that is safe for everyone to take, like children? I'm actually thinking about my daughter right now.
Have 3 females. I put women while they're pregnant because pregnancy, 80% of women develop diabetes, gestational diabetes, which means they will have an iron overload because iron overload causes diabetes. 90% of diabetes 90% of birth defects is caused by gestational diabetes, my dear. So when you keep them non-diabetic and also during the pregnancy, because the iron goes down, they receive iron infusions.
Right.
And don't forget the almighty prenatal vitamins.
Yeah, they're all iron fortified. Everything I'm thinking about is like.
You just said the essence of problem.
Yeah. So why do a lot of people so obviously we've got the liver, and then we've got to have a good pathway for these things to move out of us. So like a lot of people have digestive issues. So we need to fix that too. Is that going to support that ability for things to move from the system?
The first thing to go is your nervous system. You have to, let me tell you how it works too, okay? I just give you example. Cold feet, cold legs, extremities. Cold, which means bad circulation, yes? Well, that's iron overload, nothing else. When people have restless leg syndrome, that's iron overload.
I have cold hands and Mike has restless leg syndrome.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Usually precursor for that is, you've heard about condition called rosacea? Rosacea, it's iron overload. They're testing actually ferritin levels right now. If you go to rosacea.org, they say you check your ferritin because we see more connection. I have people who take Glucoferrin 2 weeks, rosacea.
And eczema and stuff too, because that's what I'm getting. I'm presenting an eczema, my face red, blotchy all around my eyes.
Iron coming through your skin. It's called anemic iron overload dermatitis. When you start to have any symptoms like this, your iron is actually coming to the surface because liver try to push. And people develop rashes on the body. This is actually iron coming through the skin because skin is the discarding system. If liver cannot handle through spleen or the urine or defecation or kidneys, okay, it will push it to the skin.
I had it explained to me that there's you've got your phase 1 liver detox. Obviously, there's things that will skip the line and go straight to phase 2 liver detox because, and then obviously the things that go through phase 1 become more toxic. And then there's this waiting room of just toxins that are just hanging out that don't have anywhere to go.
That's the problem. You see, when people say, people who have, we're going to use word diabetes now, okay?
Okay.
You never detox diabetic person. You can kill them. Because they don't process, they don't metabolize stuff. You're going to release so much toxin metals, it's going to go somewhere else.
Exactly. It just goes and it lands somewhere else in the system.
It can shut down, it can cause organ failure.
That's making so much sense to me right now.
Detox is glutathione. And I don't even like to use detox. It's proper metabolism discarding system. Detox become a pitch sale word. Okay? We remove toxin, but it has to be metabolically induced again in the process. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and so on. Detox is like bring a barrel of mercury max with iron, put it over there.
Like I did a liver flush and it actually made everything worse.
Yeah, of course. If you meet
Yeah.
me, I will tell you, don't ever do that.
Yeah, I know. Well, this is why we are so happy to have you right now. I'll be honest with you, since
Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
a lot of people
I
do
have a
ask about those
gentleman,
liver detoxes.
and Mike, listen, this is it. I have a gentleman last year, came to me, he goes for phlebotomy twice a month, twice. And you know that very well now. His ferritin was 2001. Yeah, thank you. I said the same thing. Wow. And they said, you're going to lose liver. And he's only 59, my age. 6 months on glucoferrin, his ferritin was 79.
Holy
Now, listen to this. Listen to this. That's why dysregulate. I have a blood work. I can send you blood work, guys. It's going to blow your mind.
Mike and I did our full blood work because we're like, I want to go through my full blood work. And then, yeah, I mean.
But listen, that's very important, Christa. And this was another thing. So his ferritin was 2000. Now think about ferritin indicates severe iron overload. Okay? It's not even iron overload, it's hemochromatosis now. Okay? Basically ferroptosis, because if people develop cancer, they usually ferritin goes below about like 650, 700. If you measure ferritin with every cancer person, this is the numbers, 600 plus.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's go away from it, but let's go to this gentleman. So 2000 indicates severe hemochromatosis. His iron level was 16. What is the iron deficiency here? The serum, iron serum, the regular iron was 16. Was not used and was all non-heme. It went right to his ferritin. See? And then when his ferritin went to 79, his iron serum from 17 to 59. You see? Dysregulation is this. When you bring regulation, you bring it together. So efficiency has no existence here. It's just dysregulation.
So do we see this in basically everyone?
Every single person. Dogs, cats, every mammal. I have a person who showed me a blood work of a dog with valley fever, which is fungal infection. And I put my hand over the doctor name, and there's says is a pet, okay? And there's a vet. And I said to her, look at here. She said, oh my God, that's iron overload. Yeah, that's your doggy.
Wow. Okay, so
Mammals, that's the same principle.
So if some of us will develop type 2 diabetes, some of us will develop these metabolic dysfunctions, these diseases. Why do some people not, if everyone is iron overload?
that's a good question.
Which condition you talking about?
So any of them, let's take type 2 diabetes. If every human is iron overloaded, but only some will get type 2 diabetes, why do some? Is it just in our genetic code? Is that why?
Well, genetic code always plays the role, but you have to remember right now, you're judging diabetes by A1C. If you're going to judge by ferritin, they're all diabetic.
I see. Yeah.
That's clearly, this is Cleveland Clinic. I didn't come up with that. Cleveland Clinic said, you're diabetic if your ferritin is high. Forget about A1C.
What if your ferritin's low then?
Well, same thing, but you look on TIBC and insulin. Your insulin is above 5, you're diabetic. Last year, actually, American Diabetic Association, they said they need to eventually change the guidelines because they always believe A1C was indicator. Insulin was called insulin resistance up to like 8 to 10. Now they know actually that anything above 8 insulin, it should be considered diabetes type 2, even if your A1C is not elevated. So hyperinsulinemia, you always look on those. Now, if you have an A1C already high, yeah, you just confirm the case. But A1C, if I show you so many blood work with A1C, I have so many people who have diabetes. They've been diagnosed by somebody else with diabetes. They come with the insulin resistance. They come all kinds of problems. A1C is normal. You look ferritin, you look TIBC, transferrin, and I send you the blood work numbers, those 2 pages. You see, there's around 10 different types of iron study, and you have to look all of them, because then that's where the genetic or lifestyle or environment comes to the role, okay? That one person is going to have, you can bring 10 people and they're going to have like a schedule. Okay, this schedule go here, this schedule here, and it's like, okay, did your mother have thyroid? Yes. Well, or she say the mother didn't have it, but where did you live? Well, I drink water, which was kind of brown and smelly. Well, you drink iron, okay? What do you eat? I eat nothing but cereal. Well, cereal is iron fortified, okay?
Yeah.
Or I say, I eat too much red meat, but I have an iron problem. Now I eat red meat and I still have an iron problem. Well, you already were iron overload, so your body cannot handle. That's what they call this. You see the condition called galactosemia or alpha gal.
Mhm.
I
Okay,
don't know that.
look on my Instagram. I'm gonna send you a link to read it. Okay, galactosemia is allergic reaction to galactose, which is sugar in meat, and is genetically just like hemochromatosis. Alpha gal, it's actually adult, and it's a lot of people who switch to carnivorous diet. They have it. And galactose is a sugar in the meat. And basically, people switch to carnivorous diet, and all of a sudden they go to the doctor. And I deal with this every day. I just have two clients from my doctor send me. We have another person with alpha gal. They switch them to carnivorous diet. Their insulin went up, the A1C went up, the sugar went up, the iron went up. I'm like, just a second, I'm eating meat.
Mm.
Well, galactose, it's a glucose form of sugar, and it's only in red meat. And because these people have a fatty liver and deficiency in the amino acids such as glucoferrin, they develop new form of glucose intolerance. So they become a new type of, let's say, prediabetes, which is called galactose or alpha gal. Until they take something like glucoferrin with amino acids, they're gonna actually, a lot of them, and I work with few doctors actually, and well, they know that they actually on the beginning when we see these numbers goes up, we actually what do we do with people who switch to carnivorous, and Nandor knows that very well. Ask Nandor, okay?
Well, you're speaking to me right now. This happened to me.
This is
What you
exactly what
described.
happened to Mike.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you actually, I have people who eat red meat and throw up. They couldn't even eat it.
That
Okay,
never
that's how
happened.
violent they get. No, I'm just telling you the cases.
Yeah.
So what happened is what you need to do when you start with glucoferrin, we pull you off, and we actually, I'm not a chicken person, but we put you towards more lean meat because fat it's actually the factor, okay? Because fat is converts in sugar in sugar and fat. So we put you more on lean meats, lean red meat, even some turkey, maybe fish and chicken for a while you take
Yeah.
glucoferrin. And from my experience, 30 to 60 days, all of them, you can eat all the meat you want.
Can you give the name of that new type of
Just
diabetes?
when we finish, go
Yeah.
on Instagram. I have everything right there. I'm gonna message you.
Okay.
I describe perfectly, and believe me, everybody will like, oh my god, this is what it is. Yeah, it's called galactosemia, a new form of
Galactosemia.
galactosemia or alpha gal.
I thought there was an allergy to beef too. Like, does that?
No, that's the one. The one. That's the one. That's what
Yeah.
he's talking about.
One of our clients, their
They,
daughter
they
has
call
that.
this allergy because they want to call this allergy. It's not allergy. It's a glucose intolerance to galactose. Okay. And how does it work? You have people who are lactose intolerant. Yes. Now you have people who have galactose intolerant. The reason you lacking lactase amino acids, which is in mother's milk, and you lack galactase amino acids to deal with
Mm.
galactose. And the reason why you don't have it to meat yet, you have lactose, because all the processing of the milk, which is called pasteurization, destroys the amino acids, so there is no lactase. So you become lactose intolerant.
I've been, since I was born.
Well, trust me, you won't be anymore.
Soy cheese, that'd be amazing.
I have people
Mm.
who are lactose intolerant. Oh my God, I cannot take milk product. I said, listen, this is not milk product. Glucoferrin has less than 3% of lactose. I mean, this doesn't exist even, okay? Because we have to mention that because it comes from colostrum, so everybody gonna see. Like people say, "Oh, you mentioned colostrum, you mean buttermilk, or you mentioned, whey protein." Listen, these you have to remember. Very important about nutraceutical.
Right.
I take the essence of those things, amino acids, and nutraceuticals. It is done by pharmaceutical grade technology. If you go to any company, who does supplements, even the one who claim anything, ask them if this is pharmaceutical grade technology, and they tell you no. They make powder.
Right.
Mhm.
Powder never help anybody and never will. Now, if there's some better powders than the others, of course they are. Glucoferrin, it's nutraceutical product. And that's why I got the patent. It's structured by special technology, by pharmaceutical manufacturer, which makes, we take basically essence out of it and we convert for what we wanted by my recipe and we give it to people. There is no allergy. We never have one person being allergic or anything. One have any sensitivity. Now, we talk about the babies, okay? So this is how I work with pregnant women. I give them double dose during the pregnancy. Once they nurse, they still on 4 a day. And once they start to baby goes to the food, they stay on 2. And the baby gets in the food. We open the capsule and put the powder in.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, so so what do we do for, I forgot how much to take. So on the bottle, it says take 2 a day.
It's the minimum. If you see,
Like Mike and I are in a place where our body needs
you
hydration.
both, between me and you need 4.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait till he sees my blood work. We're gonna
Plus,
be taking 8 a day.
I take 6 to 8 a day myself. The reason is you're gonna get so much more leaner muscle like you never seen in your life. And let me tell you, and Christa is gonna enjoy
I'll be
this.
taking a whole bottle a day then.
Can I tell you? You cannot OD this. It's like ODing. If the baby eats too much mother's milk, what it does? Goes up.
Yeah. It's just going to be really expensive.
No. It's not gonna be expensive because you know when it's expensive, when you get sick, that's expensive.
Oh yeah, 100%. I just meant that as a little bit joke, but
No, but listen to this. I'm gonna give you very, very, very quick breakdown. Something you have to understand.
okay.
So, how the human body works? The liver produces amino acids. That amino acid, 51 of them, sulfur bonded in 6 places. You need cysteine. Cysteine is one of the 2 sulfur bonded. Without those 16, you cannot make insulin. And that's why insulin goes up and up and up and up because it's not working.
Mm.
So you need to make insulin. Insulin, it's 51 amino acids. I'm going to send you everything. It's on the internet, everything.
Okay.
I'm going to resend you 2 messages one by one so you can see what we just talked about. So you have 51 amino acids, 21 alpha and beta. See, they're different. Same hemoglobin has beta and alpha. You hear about thalassemia condition? Thalassemia, it's alpha and beta. Depends which amino acids you're lacking, that's when you cannot form them. Same with the insulin.
No, I was thinking about thyroid function too.
Thyroid is glucose intolerance, my dear, okay? That's all it is. Look at this, Christa.
Yeah.
Let me finish because you started. I didn't start it, you started.
Yeah.
It regulates thyroid.
Hey, that's my line. You started it. I didn't.
Well, but you can never fit. Okay, but TSH, okay?
Yeah.
Thyroid stimulating hormone. People say, oh, I have a TSH problem with thyroid. No. TSH is produced by hypothalamus, brain organ. I mean, brain, not organ, but gland, organ, whatever you're going to. But the TSH regulates your thyroid. But TSH is made from insulin. And look at this, it's very important. Somatostatin. It's a hormone release all over the body, but it's very highly released in pancreas with insulin to regulate your TSH. So if you have a thyroid problem, you have an insulin and somatostatin problem, you have a pancreatic problem. This is only a symptom.
Right. Yeah.
See, again, you went, you see the singular event right here?
Right.
This is the beginning of the event.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know we have to take our daughters. Mike, they haven't canceled the thing, so they're gonna want to go.
Okay.
Okay, so this is safe for families. So you would say kids start with 2. Is this twice at the same time, or like one in the
Twice
morning,
at the
one at
same
night?
time. And it's very important because you will be amazed how many people are hypoglycemic and they don't know it. Okay? Because when you regulate, and it's very important, when you talk about medication in general, they lower blood sugar. Glucoferrin regulates blood sugar. But If person is hungry and they don't eat when we wake up, our sugar is low. So if you take something even to regulate sugar, your sugar will go down because you don't eat. So very important to take glucoferrin when they eat because they don't know they're already hypoglycemic.
Okay.
Every time, most of the time, when you're going to have person with iron dysregulation, they're all hypoglycemic. And the worst thing for them, it's hot temperature. It just wipes them out.
So do you need to be so when you say because I mean I think a
And
lot
take it with food, anything.
right, take it with food, but what about the other supplements that people are taking?
Why
Like
would you
right
take?
now,
You take them. You tell me, convince me.
that's why I want to say so my vitamin D was high apparently because I really started mass dosing it.
No. You know why? Vitamin D is strictly, see, that's another thing what I teach professionals. When you look on vitamin D, it shows you how your bile is working. You
Yeah,
bile it. You're developing probably bile problem right now, and you're leading towards gallbladder problem. No, listen. Bile emulsifies every single protein, every single fat, every single vitamin, especially fat soluble vitamins. The first side effect of insulin resistance, it's called chronic cholestasis, which is the chronic inflammation of the liver, which shows immediately very poor bile secretion and very poor strength of bile. And the very side effect of insulin resistance, it's disruption in malabsorption of fat soluble vitamins, which are A,
AE.
K, and calcium. So
Mhm.
if bile is not working, you're gonna have a problem with vitamin D. It's not vitamin D that you're lacking. You're not absorbing it because you're not breaking down.
Right.
And that goes to your liver, which means your liver is iron overload and you have a fatty liver.
So do you
I,
stop taking
you
other
know,
supplements though?
hold them. Yeah. First thing,
For a
tell me
type,
one supplement when you take it and convince me that any supplement you take is not synthetic. Can I help you? You won't. They're all synthetic.
So is that what you typically do? You're just just stop taking everything and just start taking this?
And the fats. And the fats. You need to eat fats. The only thing you need to eat fats with glucoferrin. You eat fats and glucoferrin. That's all you need.
mm,
Remember,
if a
quick
type
conclusion.
two, if a
Yeah,
type 2 diabetic is taking metformin, for example, or something like that, and they want to start taking glucoferrin,
you put them on both, and then sugar. And once the
yeah,
sugar start to level down, that they can come down the metformin, and
yeah,
then keep going. And then eventually, if they want it, they can make. And again, I give people choices. Remember, I do not promote taking of people drugs, or this is their choice. I just give them a option.
Right.
So if they get to the point that they take metformin and glucoferrin, okay, and they're gonna notice that the sugar is too low and they get lightheaded, they don't feel good. Well,
yeah,
there's the moment you make your choice. Are you cutting down metformin or you're cutting down glucoferrin?
right,
But the choice is the person. I
yeah.
respect, and I respect this very highly because
And how long does it typically take to start seeing results?
with what?
With your blood, with your iron, everything.
First thing, I have people who feel 45 minutes because they tell me, "Oh my God, I can think."
Okay.
I can think. Oh my God. I have a young kid, 25 years old, was just diagnosed with diabetes. He's supposed to go on different medication. I got him on 6 glucoferrins a month ago. His sugar was 260 to 300. Right now, a month on glucoferrin, his sugar is every day between 105 and 132.
260 to 300 converted to us Canadians is
That's the same thing.
14
Uh,
in mmol.
I don't know. I have to see with Canadians.
Yeah,
When I did,
we do things
when
I
differently.
know. I've tried to do that so many times. I can't
but
figure it
funny because
out.
sometimes, Nandor, he sends me blood work.
Yeah,
I'm like, give me some reference here.
yeah,
I don't want to say
yeah.
something. Oh, it's good, and then I'm like, oh no, that's the wrong range. But it's not just with you guys. We have also different. I deal with people all over United States consultation. I mean, every state, okay, and depends what type of medical group is or healthcare group. They even have different. I give you again the most common test for the ferritin they show is it's from 7 to 270, okay, in United States. I've seen they were normal from 10 to 150. And I've seen who are from 150 to 350. I'm like, okay, it just depends where they do it because they do their own statistical data.
Right.
So they the base. So every time when you look on number, you look this way. And it's very important. Look what the range it's, suggested. And ideally it's take the low. And this is just rule of thumb with some exception, okay? You take low and high, slice in half, and on both ends, give 15% leverage. So let's say you have 300, you divide in half, it's 150, yes? So 115% will be roughly 20. So let's say 130 to 170. That's the range you want to play. And this is the range enough because it will change depends what you age are, if you sleep well, if you exercise hard or something. So this range, but not range, from 10 to 270. I'm like, come on. Today I weigh 10 pounds and tomorrow 400 pounds, but hopefully next week 100 again, or something.
Right.
So this is the with the ranges that you always look in the middle. Now ranges, remember, they were designed to give you idea, and that good they exist because it gives you some ideas what the person came from, which doctor, what they use it. But then range is only to be there. You have to pay attention, what we call iron study or other studies for trending. If it's uptrending or is downtrending, okay? If it's uptrending, well, you're going somewhere, and trust me, if you don't do something about it, it's not gonna stop. Or if something goes too low, if you go too low, well, it's just not gonna stop by itself, So with the food and the diet, it's very difficult. With glucoferrin, it becomes simple.
Okay, so I know we do have to get the kids off soon. Do you find anyone gets a little bit skeptical? And like, if they are, what would you say?
Can I tell you something? Very, very, very easy answer. This is a science. I have proofs from all around the world. I have scientists, smart people who proved it. I have the blood work. Like people say, oh, why don't you do testimonials? Did you see my testimonials anywhere with me? No.
No, I know. But
Every testimonial, it's a paid lie. I have a blood work. 120 days we do blood work. You come to me and tell me, and somebody tell me I have a different opinion. I said, I have a different opinion. I don't care.
yeah, like conventions and stuff too. Like, do you go to?
Not yet. Listen, I have the product only 18 months on the market, and I'm working 7 days a week, my dear, to educate. I just have 2 orders from Brazil today. Brazil.
Yeah,
Okay?
so now it's just some expansion and stuff. So
Eventually I will, but right now I want to get everybody, and I'm training a lot of professionals. You've seen Dr. Mailia, so you've seen Dr. Christie video. These are 2 who are just like, Nandor. He got it.
yeah, I know. I was so like, I'll be
Yeah.
honest with you. This is the first time I have felt this level of hope.
Well, because this is true science, and I prove to people. Okay, and think this way: I'm a year and a half on the market. We didn't even advertise once.
Mm-hmm.
For word of mouth, my dear.
It's the Lord. God's got you.
I want what my friend said, because first thing, I have people coming, oh my God, look at my hair. Oh my God, I have never have hair so much. Now, somebody come, I want a hair like me, hair, but my hair, but the person who didn't grow the hair, hey, I lost 6 pounds, Or next person said, like, you know what? I have a horrible eczema. It cleared up, man. My rosacea is better. I don't have a less stress syndrome. This is cool. I don't care right now about the hair. Okay? You said it. The body will peak. Where is the most damage done? Remember, baby is born. It's fed to grow. You get glucoferrin to regrow.
Oh, that's good. I feel like we should just stop right there. Like that was.
Yeah, that is that's a very good point there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
great.
I'm so grateful for your time. Like, we are so excited to be on this journey with you and just a part of it. It's like, it even feels like an honor.
Well, and I'm very proud to have you guys, because this is how God works. I'm here to teach.
Yeah.
And every time I see people getting it, I'm very, very happy.
Yeah, I'm like blown away right now. My brain is like,
Yeah.
so happy.
I'm very excited for where 120 days from now
Oh, yeah, and this is like a
we
magic.
will be.
And I tell you, see, the thing is, if that will not be true. Why would I tell you 120 days? Wouldn't I look like a fool if you come in 120 days? Hey, Peter, my blood work is worse than ever, right?
Yeah.
It won't be.
Yeah.
Because every time people come, regardlessly of age, stimulate, and they come in like, oh my goodness, I mean, this change, Like I have a gentleman a couple of days ago came, he's halfway paralyzed, and he talks now. One of the things where I always say, without even going to the blood work, okay, characteristics. And I'm gonna send you little by little again from Instagram and threads. My threads are the biggest library in the world. You're gonna learn everything. And I have 3 more write-ups coming this week. I just did yesterday. That's what I do at night. Okay, so
Yeah,
that's
you're just on fire. I said to
I'm
Mike,
I've been on fire like
right
this.
now.
Well, that's what they call me, Iron Man.
Cool.
I go for 16, 17 hours a day, and I get up and I'm like, ding, ding, next round. Okay,
Yeah.
guys, I take glucoferrin. I'm a living proof of it. My mind. Look at, I'm 60. I have full of hair. I have no gray hair.
I'm excited to really get some muscle on my body. I have struggled with.
See, you just read my mind. I was just want to tell you very quick, okay? And I started. So, liver produce amino acids and fats. They are building blocks. Insulin has to be strong. It's called potentiating insulin. Again, very important. Learn this word. Write it down. Not potentiating, potentiating. That's what potentiating comes from potency. Potentiating. Because a lot of professionals say, oh, Peter, your second language is potentiating. No. It's potentiating. Losing potency of insulin becomes insulin resistant. That's what makes you diabetic. Glucoferrin is GTF, glucose tolerance factor, which makes you insulin potent. Less insulin, less inflammation. The only reason in the human body it's iron overload and insulin elevated. No other reason besides trauma or infection that cause you inflammation. No other reason. So now, very important because you're in the workout business. I have people coming, I go to gym, I couldn't lose pound, I couldn't gain pound of muscle. I say, I know, don't tell me, I know everything about you already. When you're insulin resistant, you can sleep in the gym, you're not going to do anything for yourself. The reason is when you have insulin, 80% of insulin is taken by liver and it's converted in IGF. It's called insulin growth factor 1.
Yeah.
Okay. Why I call this insulin growth factor? This factor, as stronger it is because it's based on insulin strength, it's going to go to your hypothalamus. And your hypothalamus is going to convert this in human growth stimulating hormone, not growth hormone, stimulating. And then will release to every single cell in your body to release your own growth hormone and testosterone. And then you're going to go to gym, you do 20 reps, and you're going to say, this is the best 20 reps I've done in my life. You're going to achieve in 15 minutes workout, which you can achieve in 10 hours. Young bodybuilders coming. Now, let me tell you something. They sell mother nursing milk, real milk. It's called Stork. Okay, Stork company. You can actually buy for mother who want a milk and they don't have it. Do you know who is number one buyer of that milk?
Yeah.
Bodybuilder.
I remember when I was pregnant, my Mike was like, "Yo, give me some of that."
Bodybuilders.
Oh yeah, I was trying to steal it all over the place.
Yes. Why? And sulfur. Okay. So now when I have a bodybuilders coming like, hey, mother's milk, and they're like, okay, I'll take dozen.
Yeah.
When they come in 2, 3, 4 months, they're like, oh my God, look at me. I never got like this in my life.
Wow.
And they do all kind of stuff. You see what I'm saying? So that's what IGF. If you're insulin resistant, I tell you, you're killing yourself in the gym. You're killing yourself.
I can talk to that right now for sure.
Yeah. Listen, do you know when I have people who are severe diabetic, I tell them first 120 days, don't exercise. Reason is they cannot recover. They cause themselves, if somebody's, and not then some diabetic, we're talking some heavy duty, okay, diabetic.
Yeah.
I tell them, take glucoferrin. For 120 days, I want you to just go and walk. Go to personal trainer, but go walk, do funny exercise, move, everything, no weights. After 120 days, go and do it. 2 months after 120 days, they come to me, Peter, I can lift weights like I never can 3 years ago. My God.
Wow.
So you see, when they're severely, when you exercise, it's very good for you guys, because think about, you get person who comes in diabetic and you're going to say what? I'm going to pump you up. This is not Arnold Schwarzenegger came to you, okay?
Right.
You're going to pump him up. You're going to kill him down. Now you're going to go easy with them. We got Glucoferrin. And then after 120 days, you're going to increase. And I was like, Christa, you're a magician here.
Yeah. You're the best coach ever. And do it to myself first.
I'm like, oh my God, my muscles. I never could do this before. And I have people who were like severe diabetic, went to gym and they call me, Peter, I cannot walk. I'm in so much pain. Because, I do medical treatments too. I'm like, come on over. We do frequency. We have like, the grounding pads and everything. So I put the grounding pad, because grounding pads, they increase nitric oxide. When you increase,
We went on one last night, Mike and I.
I have in my business, we use people, and when nitric oxide kicks in, then your amino acids kicks in, okay? So it actually helps them to soften up everything. So you see, that's application and exercise. Now you're going to understand that your business of healing people, it's one thing, but when you're going to feel combination of heal and make them healthier and stronger and have results, you're going to be like, oh my, I want to see only Christa and Mike, because, what I've done in 2 months, I couldn't done with the other guy for a year. And they tell you, I hate the guy because the only thing he did, it hurt me.
Right. Okay. We got to get those kids off to their class. They don't even know that they're going. They have a friend over too. But this was...
I tell you something, get your kids on it, because I prepare so many young couple to become, when they want to pregnant, I check their blood work. I always say, don't go in pregnancy when you're insulin resistant, because you're going to have a gestational diabetes. So they give the blood work. I have one couple right now. They're starting, actually, I get them perfectly. All numbers perfect. I said, kids.
Let's go. All right. Well, I'm definitely going to get our kids on this too. And I'm so grateful. I know Mike's very grateful that you're here.
Yeah, we're so blessed to have you with us, Peter.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in to Strength for Generations. If this podcast encouraged you, it would be a blessing if you took a quick minute to leave a 5-star review. It helps more families hear this message and find hope for their health and faith journey. It lights me up to know this podcast is helping you. And if you feel led to share this episode, text it to a friend, post it to your stories, or send it to someone on your heart. God might use it to encourage someone who really needs it today. And don't forget to eat steaks, lift weights, love Jesus, and keep doing it His way.